Hello there. I hope you all have had a wonderful day so far. It's Wednesday, my dudes. And today we're playing Igarashi Jitaro. I see you there. We're playing a game gifted by the very man himself in chat. Good old Igarashi Jitaro. Well, wait, did I say the game by him? I mean, I was gifted the game by him. Um, he didn't make the game, but he did gift me the game. He really wanted to see me play it, so yeah, we're playing it today. And I'm also testing out VTube Studio today on stream at least. So let me know how things look. Yeah, I haven't used it before, at least not on stream or anything. But I'm a try. Hopefully my game, my everything doesn't just straight up die. Hopefully, we'll have to see. But I don't know too much about the game. I just know that the game is like the Stanley Parable, and it's very story rich, and that I don't know. Let me just, instead of butchering the description of the game, let me just play it. How about I just do that? Please make sure audio is on. Yeah, guys, don't mute the stream, please. Onegaishimasu. Controls WASD and left click. Hi. Seems simple enough.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing the Beginner's Guide.
Hello there.
My name is Davey Wreden. I wrote the Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made.
Important games.
Until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
Oh.
Warning. Whisper machine active. Shift to structure imminent.
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
Security call breached. Hostile alien life forms inbound.
We're gonna
It kind of
shoot some
looks like
bitches.
this game was abandoned mid-development.
Wait.
For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere,
Oh.
but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately, we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is.
Oh shit,
And
now
I think
can't
that we
shoot.
should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Enemy force neutralized. Begin ship evacuation.
Oh.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
You can see the bottom of the universe from this room. Oh, it opened.
Apparently, this space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the Whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the Whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam. It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
Well, damn. What happens if you don't go in? Does anything happen if I don't?
This is not a branching point, unfortunately. The only option is to step into the beam.
Oh, okay. I guess then...
Let me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead. The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it, like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Looks like a Doom. Huh? Oh.
Yep, in this game you can only walk backwards.
Oh. Oh. I can only use S.
So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Coda's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
Keeps changing. Oh. Oh. I just didn't see that. Oh, holy shit, this shit's tripping me out. I like it though. Comes clearer.
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick.
Very
Okay,
trippy indeed.
next one.
Oh no. I don't like this. Heard noises. By the way, let me just pause real quick, right? Just so that I can do my ritual, because I had a cup of coffee that I was busy with just before, and I just finished it. So let me just pop open this one, take a little sip. Is it a horror game? Fuck you. You had to get me somehow to play a horror game, didn't you? Can I move? Oh, I can. I'm just... Wait. It doesn't stop immediately when I stop. There's like a momentum type system.
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
Okay. I'm fine with that.
Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games. I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
This Coda person seems like a... Oh, you're moving slower. You can't reach the door.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
I pressed enter. Game filled with chairs except one chair. Oh my, that's a lot of text. Door gate.
A room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games. Coda would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
Well, that one seems interesting. I like that idea. That idea is nice. Did you said fish? Was this also made in the Source engine? It looks like it's similar vibe.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it. Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're gonna see it a lot.
I'm smart. What did I do? Can I click you? Hey, no. What the fuck, so smart as fuck. I told you, I smart.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve the puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough.
Door closed.
All right, Now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Holy! Oh my.
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
Wow. Oh, we're back at this one. We're now exiting.
Aha. So this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
The great and lovely desert. I like this house model. Looks nice. Detailed.
Let's talk about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do.
Yeah.
So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development. To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source.
Ah, I knew
Like
it was
all
Source.
engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well.
Go downstairs in a bit. I want to see what's upstairs.
The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
Oh, is this a KZ map? Can I crouch jump? I still can't crouch jump. It's gonna make KZ tough. Can I strafe? Wait, let me see if I can strafe jump. No. Not really. Oh, this way. No. Where to? Guess down. Yes, Dice Good is an interesting game. I'll make it to the orange. Oh, I see something down there. I like these stairs. Ooh, I almost didn't make it. Yeah, I thought he was using Source. Oh, that just automatically bounced me in. You know what, I'll take the stairs. I respect the effort Coda put in and use the stairs. This Coda guy seems like a very interesting map. When I go inside the circle, what happens if I go under? Nothing. Wait, but what's that? Is that just light? Oh, I guess. Eh? What was that noise? Did it come from down there?
Funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go.
Wow.
If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that. This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
Hey,
It's the puzzle again,
it's that puzzle.
with the exact same solution as the last time. There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
I like this room. This room's nice. Also, wait, I want to check if the audio is balanced, so excuse me for a bit. I just need to see that it is not. The audio is definitely not balanced. I need to turn the game down a little bit. Audio. Can I make it headset? Headphones. Let me just turn the sound down a bit. What, the music stopped though? I didn't tell the music to stop. I just wanted to turn it down a bit.
Here, Coda begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
Yes, there was a world stamped with whiteness. There was an enormous prison I spent hours in. There were these floating colored blocks. Big 3. Oh, this is important. Did you have to go through a puzzle with 2 doors and switches? It's literally the last thing I did before coming here, and I don't remember having to go through the puzzle. I prefer not to tell you, after all we've only just met. I'll go with that one. 3 again. What? But you don't understand. We are trapped here. That puzzle is our only escape. We need to get through it. You think you want to get through, but trust me, you don't. Let me describe for you. Let me tell you all about what is over there. And then, alright, I'll tell you how to solve it. Okay, I'll tell you how to solve it. Wonderful. Dot dot dot. Dot dot. Well. What is it? What's the answer? Please speak to me, tell me how to escape. Tell me how to be free of this prison. I must know, it's the most important thing. There must be an ending. Can't speak with them. Can't get up to them either. Do I just walk away? Eh? Eh? Hello, how did you get here? Was there a puzzle you had to pass through? Yes, do you want to know how to solve it? No, we actually found the black space between doors to be far more interesting. Have you seen it yet? Why would I care why would I care about the space between the doors? Actually, now that you mention it, I remember feeling strange as I passed through it. Yeah, that one. Don't think too hard about it. You'll see it again soon. What do you mean? Oh, these are some long stairwells.
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level. It's a lamppost. Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason, Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
The next game? Yes. Game is connected to the internet. As you walk around, you can leave notes. All notes you see are left by other players. Are they? I know Jacksepticeye did a playthrough of it, so it would be cool if I could find a note that if he... I didn't watch it, but if he did leave a note, that would have been cool. Nice room. Not. Hey, that's not very nice.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're going to see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually. Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them. Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played. But it's ironic, isn't it, that in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
That is a long ass sentence, and that's a pretty deep sentence too. How's the wooden glass and concrete here? Don't ask questions, my man. Balls. After reading all these serious ones, it's just balls. What the shit is this cavern? What is it? Sailors? Who are the sailors? What ass butt? Nice. Need to go to the freaking bathroom. Recognize me, please. I have been recognized. I like that. There's nothing here. Go back and listen to that guy. B t-shirt. You can kind of make a song with them. I don't think you will. Eternal good feeling. Interval. Interval? Oh, I like that art. I won't judge you. Don't lie. Yes, that is a note. Why are you so buried? You cannot fall off. Ah, you cannot fall off. Ethical. Nothing done there. Devil Tower Star? Nani? What's that supposed to mean? Devil Tower Star again. Another cabbage-shaped donation.
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one.
I've seen those dots before.
In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on.
Anyway, this one's the only one that kind of like...
And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
A single note on this side. Hit typewriters. How do you leave notes? Like that. Speak, 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 speak. I haven't been speaking almost throughout that whole level. I was just mainly reading, taking it all in. Porn stars die too.
Okay, this one is tough. It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
How do you mean spin its own wheels? There's that same painting again. I don't like the music, this song. This song playing right now unnerves me.
See, like, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
The assets are missing. Found holding the gun to his table. How about along the wall of the room? Huge picture of a horse. Sure. Couches. Light up this room a bit. Skylight, full ceiling window. Let's open the playground. Well, 10 by 12 recessed electric 6-inch soft LED ceiling lights with fluorescent trim. Live Tesla coils in each corner. Yeah. Yeah. Sort of Tesla coil. And a table. You need a table. What do we have a table? I'll take one. Who are you and where exactly are these things coming from? Oh my.
There's a bit more to this one, but still, it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
I mean, I can see that it's kind of building a maze.
So, okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
What if I don't wanna? Fine, I'll walk forward. Will it? Table picture light on off their shelves.
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape.
I'll click that table.
Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside. Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen of them. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this, to see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop, that particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
I see the lamppost. And the telephone booth? Hello? Who is this? Hey, it's me. I'm you from after you escaped the prison. You're me? So you were trapped in this prison too? That was in the future maze.
It's a conversation.
And
so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
What's it like to escape? Actually, I'm already forgetting what being in the prison was like. It's strange, but in a way I kind of miss being in the prison. Completely still and wildly in motion at the same time. Yeah, that one. Do you feel different? Sometimes I'm scared I'll get out and then things will be exactly the same as before. I don't feel like the same person at all. I'll take that one. Oh, good. That's nice to hear. That makes me feel really happy. Age just kind of does that. I'm still me, but I'm not. It's hard to describe. Remember to enjoy being who you are right now, it won't last. Take 2. But if you're me, then did you get a call from another version of you when you were trapped? I did. Although, if I say yes I did, then that will demotivate the other one, thinking it's just like a loop. But I think I'll say I'm the first. Can you tell me how to get out? Maybe I can confine you. What do I have to do? What would I have to be sincere? You need to tell me how you feel right now. Just be sincere. Right? That will thing. How does that work? Listen, you can't know until you're out, but I promise it works. Is there a 4 for all of the above? No. I'll take 1. Oopsie. Hit my headset. Sincere about what? That's exactly what you need to figure out in order to escape.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice?
That would.
So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
Oh. This looks cold.
To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the 2 doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
Bye-bye. Somebody spilled their drink. Glad as heck that you showed up. I thought I might be having to clean this entire house all by myself. Quite miserable that would have been. Who knows? Everyone knows how lonesome hands make.
You'll notice that the quality of the art is a step up from previous games,
yes,
including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
Don't worry about me, a place this nice, I'll be glad to stay all night, and lousy homes make home loners. Some hands make lousy homes and lousy homes make home loners, sure. Ah! This tells me we're going to be fun to do this job with. Well, this place isn't going to clean itself. As far as I know, I'll finish up here. In the meantime, could you please clear the table? I'll clear it. That's nicer. That's the table I want to see. Please run into the bedroom and make the bed. Aye. There we go. While you're in there, why don't you straighten out the rug a bit? All the details matter. There we go. Do you enjoy being a house cleaner? How'd you end up doing this job? It's been a long time since I've seen a house this messy. Rather ask about the specifics. How'd you end up doing this job? It dragged me along at the time when I was particularly desperate for cash, since I've never felt so good doing something for money in my whole life. If I did like cleaning my own home, I might have got some demons I ain't ready to face yet. Oh, speaking of demons, someone's put this couch all in a mess. Would you come out and straighten the pillows here? It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I know he's talking about demons and stuff, but wait, that wasn't me. There we go. Maybe mop that up as long as you're over there. There you go. We are compelled to share an incredibly cheesy personal insight. You okay with that? Make it especially cheesy. Eh? No? Oh, it was stupid, sorry, never mind. Oh. Wait, I want to hear your joke. Wait. I'll check the top and cleaning how much you scrub it down as best as you can. I need to be perfect, we're all just human. Are there still books scattered on the floor of the bedroom? So, could you put them up back on the shelf? There you go. Perfect. Now then, how about you come and clear these dishes off the table? Wait,
after the intense set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
How do you do it? Darling, let me tell you something. Your house is hardly as difficult to clean as you are. If you're finding the work hard, maybe you have a bit of housekeeping to do before you come to work. Here I go with another lecture. Of course I will. Don't you worry about all that nonsense.
I know that Coda really liked this game.
Just smooth out the rug.
Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time. Just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
there's a bit of truth in it, no? I do agree with that. Anyway, so, housekeeping. Keep doing this. Books, would you please clean out the books? Thanks. Already cleaned you. Oh, the pillows again.
I'm glad he made this. I'm glad he found some peace.
Question.
But, of course, it can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
That's a nice house. I like that house. There's no gaming setup or gaming corner in it, but it's a nice house. Lamp.
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it.
Items you love at
This
members
one
only
gets a
prices.
bit goofy.
I'm here to become perfect.
About halfway through the game, the perspective shifts.
Oh.
And you play as the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom.
Oh, you
now.
can't click the other options. It is effortless, then it's not the right answer. Feel cold on the inside, being alive must be awful. What if I just keep shooting the yellow ones? And I go out? I cannot. Thank goodness all of you perceive me as being wise and intelligent. Thinking is not hurting my life. If you are torturing yourself trying to find the right solution for your life, you're not doing it right. If only one thing, what's the easiest, simplest path forward? You understand that you won't be happy until your life needs for you. You won't develop an obsessive process. Nothing to begin. There's no truth, there's no path. Anyone want to do some ecstasy after this? I'll just choose the highlighted ones. What if I'm not a good teacher? Holy shit, you guys, something is coming out of the back of the room. Look out. Do what is easiest, do what is simplest, feel what is true. Nothing more.
I felt pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human. I think about this game a lot these days. This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
I was waiting for this stage. Because I knew that the stage was going to be somewhere. Because it's in my thumbnail. I enter from this side. I can indeed. Jesus, the fucking scare. Oh. In the scene, you'll be playing as me. And we're at a gathering of professionals. First, you'll start leaning against this wall. Oh. Good. Stay right there. What have I done? Woman across the room in this chair is a professional photographer of animals. Your one chance to learn something from and gain something. Go on, say something to her. Hello? 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 That's not a conversation. You need to actually converse with her. Be a human being. Do it again. Hi, how are you? They're all of my hopes and dreams. It's too deep. I like you. It's too deep. I'm supposed to go right now? Sure. Nervous. No, that's not what I said to her at all. You're completely missing the tone of the conversation. I was reserved but knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason it was just that one moment, but I was confident. Maybe it's that you need a better feel of the setting. There were a lot of people around us. I'll give you some props to work with. These cones that bounce when you touch them will represent the people nearby. I'll talk to her again. Touch them. Must have worked really hard to get where you are. I'll bet you've learned to lean into the pain. What are some of the sacrifices you've had to make? I'll take the first one. I'm messing it all up again. I'll figure out if the conversation gets that personal that quickly. How important this was for me. I'll never get another opportunity like this again. Everything was riding on this. Bumping into people. Hey. I want to try something. First stepping back from the stage. Oh, like off the stage? Oh. There's a lamppost. Ah. Yes. Ah, this is
The
really
game
good.
ends with this
This is what
eerie
it is, man.
premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer. But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
Maybe a step to play this game. You must keep your eyes closed. I'll keep my eyes closed then. Oh wait, there's actually like dialogue options or something. Oh, SS Whisper. Blind. What's going on? That's a door.
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise. And there is a solution, by the way.
There's another door.
Like I said, I was getting concerned. First off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way. His games are going to get more desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
6 months. Where am I? Where did this island come from? Is that a person? Oh, lovely. It's been a long time since I talked to anyone. What's wrong? You look lost. I'm completely out of ideas. When I try to create, I feel empty. I have nothing left to give my work. Completely out of ideas. Oh no. What happened? Something changed. There was a machine that kept me going and it stopped. Trying to find this engine that used to protect me to start it again. That one. Wait, you're looking for a machine? I don't think I know what it is. It isn't far. I need to see it to know why it stopped. That's what dogs feel like. I can take you to it.
If the last game featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore.
Okay.
Why? What is it for? Because from my perspective at the time and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on. You can't talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
Walls just crumble. Why did I feel so awful when I said that? Why'd the walls just crumble? Don't worry about it, just keep talking. Keep saying that creation is easy. Enthusiastic and excited about my work. Easy, it never stops being easy. Big 2.
Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it.
Every
I
time
hated
make
seeing him
something
so
I feel
trapped.
good about myself, just
like
stop creating and you'll never feel better. It's such a
Video
simple
games
solution.
are not worth this amount of suffering. This is someone I really cared about. And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me.
Pain breezes effortlessly off me, and the sacrifices made for my work are worth it 100% of the time. Always pays off eventually.
I don't know.
What the?
This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop. But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
Hold up, I just real quick gotta refresh my browser. Because it says that my YouTube did not. I can't see my preview. So I'm just refreshing that so that I can see it again. And see chat. There we go. Has been refreshed. Sorry about that. Machine. Guard. Glad to see you arrived safely. We've captured the machine. It's waiting for you now. You can begin the interrogation whenever you like it. I intend to be quick, quiet, or brutal. Quick. Very good. Just be warned that someone called the press, so we might have a bit of attention on this one. Also, one more thing that you should know about the machine, it calls itself Coda. No, I'm not telling you anything.
And of course, it's the machine.
You stopped. You stopped feeding us. Your work was keeping us alive. Your work was keeping us healthy. There's people out there. Can you imagine what pain you've put them through? It was only because of your creations that any of us could make it through every day. How could we possibly go back to trusting you to do this job? I'll take that. So here's what needs to happen. You need to go to the people who are out there and apologize to them. You have to admit to the people that you allowed them to suffer. I've been so alone. Apologize for leaving me. No? Nothing? Think carefully, I know how to hurt you. I've seen the thing you fear. Right? I'll apologize to the people on your behalf. My friends, calls on me to deliver bad news. I have a troubling revelation. I'll take one. Bad news. The machine will not apologize to us. The machine refuses to admit that it deliberately hurt us. Will not apologize. Sounds better than deliberately hurt. But this is not important. We are stronger than it thinks we are. We'll find a way to live without it. We don't need gain. We do not need its gains. We are stronger than it thinks we are. Yeah. Let us pay it attribution. Let us show it that we are not failures. Follow me, we will destroy the machine. Follow me, we will destroy everything that the machine has created. Destroy its creations or destroy itself. I don't know. Take this one. Everything that the machine has created. It's opened up again. We're back on the stage. Oh shit. Oh, do we just shoot? Make sure you are known forever. Isn't that what you're scared of? Exposed to the view of others every day forever, seen in naked clarity. Clarity.
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation.
Oh.
And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
Oh. Oh, not this room. I like this room. Also, you might be wondering how I'm aiming without any crosshair. I've got this slight smudge on my monitor, which is like exactly where a crosshair would be, so I can kind of aim with that smudge.
So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
Put down your weapon. I'm not gonna click. G. No. Let me put it down. I see a lamppost up there. I'm not gonna shoot. Is that the only option?
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend I did something... I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy. So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
The Tower.
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game.
Seems very cold. Cold colors, distant sounds of people.
This room actually has a maze in it.
Not that.
Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise, so the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played, it actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
Okay, so now I can go here, to here. Epilepsy warning, by the way. I don't know if any of my viewers might have. Okay, I can go forward a bit over there. Go here. No, I touched the wall. Her eyes. Okay. To spare you guys, I'll just hit enter. Because I would like to figure out this maze, but that red flashing is possibly just a bit too much.
And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze? The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
151617. 151617.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem. But I can open this door for you, so let me do that.
I'll close
Was
it
I a
again.
failure for not understanding this game? I mean, I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time, and as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean. And he wouldn't.
I wasn't speaking right now because, well, I'm letting Davey speak. But, yeah.
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left, and it felt somehow like I had failed. Where did I screw up?
Damn.
I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did.
Oh.
I poisoned it for you.
Damn. That's gotta be heavy.
I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... it felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable. And the people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
Stop adding lampposts to them?
And then you stopped, and I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean? I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself. That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work, is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. And I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay. More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease. Solution. I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons. Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you. If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like.
Yeah, I agree. It is hitting real hard. Although, I know Firewatch, but what's that dragon cancer? Don't know what that is.
What now? I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for, and so I'm just gonna... Okay.
That Dragon Cancer is a game made by parents who lost their child to cancer. Oh, and made it in memoriam of the kid, and just goes through a huge story. Gameplay is about 2 hours and the punch is half. Oh, okay. I've heard of it. Yeah. Now I remember. Yeah. And I guess it also makes me think of stuff like what's it? My War or something. It's another deep game. I don't remember what the thing's full name is. But yeah. There's War of Mine. Yes, Daisuke, you've got it. Yes, it's that one. Thunder? Oh. We're back with the laser. We're gonna get that bug where we go up? Yes, we do. But we don't get to see the world? Oh, we do. And there's the maze. An endless maze. Damn. I could probably get out of this maze. Joking. That thing goes on for forever.
Turn back.
For R.
Turn back from this cave. You said, let me prove that I'm brave. Let me keep going. But the cave goes for miles and miles and miles. And you're so tired, but I know that you're strong. So turn back. Turn back.
Well, damn. You have a love-hate relationship with these kind of games. I love seeing the symbolisms and heavy tones, but I hate that they make me want to cry. It's true. This is deep. I don't know what to think of it. I feel like I know this Coda guy, but I don't at the same time. I can relate with what Davey went, or I feel for Davey as well. I don't know if any of this was real, if this was an actual, like a person that he met, and these are actually his things, or if he just made it and that was the story of it. But what I do know is that it has a pretty powerful message behind it. I can't exactly describe what it is, but I can understand the feeling, and I'm sure you guys can as well. So, JD/Igarashi thank you for gifting me this game. I'm happy that I did play it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I do now. It seems it was dedicated to someone, but it's also like a reference. Yeah, because it's dedicated. It says it's for R, so it's like it was made for someone, definitely. Whether that R is Coda or not, I don't know, but yeah. And I don't know how to end this off now either. Like, I want to just end it and just leave it. Oh, so according to Wiki... Oh? JD, what do you mean, hey? I don't know, I can't comment on these types of deep things. Like, other people would probably give, like, a big speech or something. Or it's like, yeah, they'd comment on the whole experience and stuff, but I can't, I just take it in. It's a follow-up to the Stanley Parable? Is it? It's made by the same guy who made the Stanley Parable, but I don't know if it's a follow-up. I haven't played Stanley Parable either. New Year's Eve? Yes, it comes out in about an hour from now, Katie. To those of you who don't know, the reason why my Wednesday streams have been from 6 till 8, my time at least, and 2 hours shorter, is because ReZero has been airing on Wednesdays at 5:30, and I thought starting at 4, ending the stream at like 5:30, and then coming back is a bit of a hassle, so I'd rather just cut the streams shorter and make them just 6 to 8. But also, I was planning on doing this from 6 to 8, but unfortunately we have load shedding from 6 to 8. So load shedding is basically scheduled power outage, which is absolute bullshit. Because our country, or because ESCOM, which is basically the main electricity supplier in South Africa, is bad with managing their resources. And thus we have to sit without electricity for like 2 hours every day, depending on the stage. We're currently on stage 1, which means there's a possibility of us not having load shedding tonight. But it's a possibility. It's not guaranteed, so I'd rather not schedule the stream and then not be able to stream. So, yeah. But each episodes usually are around 30 minutes, which is amazing. I fucking love it. And especially in season 2, it's like so full. The episodes are so packed full of content. They didn't even have time to play the opening most of the times. Like, if we get the opening with the credits and everything, then yeah. Another notice that at the beginning he gives his email to share how it's interpreted. He did, yes. This game is a surreal / abstract type that leaves your thoughts in the open. Yeah. He did mention that. His email is Wreden @gmail.com. If you guys have any interpretations that you'd like to share with him. Something. Davey Wreden, I think it was. So yeah, I'll probably go watch some videos of people who have played it. Probably I'll most likely watch Jacksepticeye's playthrough of it. Hear what Sean has to think about it. And if anybody else, like Markiplier, has done it too, then I guess I'll watch their playthroughs, or just their thoughts of it. But otherwise, I've never been. You originally watched Jacksepticeye play it? So yeah, but otherwise, if it's just, I'm not good with explaining stuff to people, because well, I'm usually the person that looks up the explanations and the ending explained. I'm not the person who does them. Stanley Parable is better to play. Jack has done that dragon. Yeah. I know Jack has. Yeah. That's how I remember it. Yes. Jack has done many like deep games, and he can explain them well enough, and I appreciate that, because that's something that I clearly cannot do. I think I might have watched Mark play that dragon before, but I'm not entirely sure. I think I started watching it, but I didn't finish it or anything. I'm not too sure. But anyways, I think I'm gonna have to end it here then. I do still have to go do some stuff before the group watch happens. So yeah, I think I'll end it here. It's a good game. It's a good story. I like the meaning behind it. Thanks, Davey, for sharing it. Coda, I hope all is well. You'll probably never see this, but whatever. But yeah, so thanks guys for joining me on this experience. Thanks JD for sharing it. But it's ambiguous as to whether this game is based on experience, but that's up to us to figure. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, so thanks JD for gifting it to me and letting me be able to experience this experience, I guess. And yeah, if you guys did enjoy this, if you have any other thoughts, like if somebody's watching the VOD or something, do drop your thoughts down in the comments below. I'd be interested in hearing what you guys have to think. And yeah, I guess leave a like and subscribe. I'm not gonna do my usual old cheery outro because this, I don't know, it feels wrong. It feels wrong doing my usual very cheery outro and just rushing everything. Thank you for the nice stream. Thanks for joining, Daisuke, and Yuki, and JD. Especially you, JD, for gifting it to me. Thank you. But yeah, then I guess that'll be it. Cheers.
Sun goes down, our spirits free. Nothing left but our energy. Take my hand, we can go and see.
Fucking bot, what's your timing? What the hell?